All right. I'm doing a little bit of banter here. We're just a couple minutes late getting started. So I'm going to continue to banter until my lovely wife shows up. But let's make sure that everybody has your wine ready to go. Today we are going to be tasting the 2018 Vera. And it's going to be a blast. This is our first time having that wine. Yes, so many of you are familiar with this situation where I am fully dressed and ready to go, and I'm waiting on my beautiful wife. It's just the life that I have right now. It's fine. Actually, she's grabbing us a little bit more of this, which is something quite special I'm going to be telling you about. It's fermenting wine. It's going to be part of our new special coming. So, what else should I tell you? Well, gorgeous weather out there today. Tomorrow, I think. Oh, here's the boss lady herself.
Hello.
All right, so, well, live from the Cinder Winery tasting room in Garden City, Idaho, nestled in the beautiful Snake River Valley AVA. This is Joe Schnur, and I'm here with my beautiful wife and business partner, Melanie Krause, our winemaker. And we are going to taste some wonderful Vera, 2018 Vera. And this is our debut on the Vera, our very first vintage. We're super excited to taste that with you. So if you're ready at home, go ahead and pop that buddy and get it ready. Next week, just so you know, our virtual tasting here on Facebook Live will be with the 2019 Ville des Jardins. So make sure you get some of that wine at home and get it ready and get it chilled for next week. And of course, also open your French-English language dictionary so that you can translate the name. Also, final little notice, remember that you can watch all of our videos on our YouTube channel. And if you go there today and you subscribe, you will become possibly the 12th viewer. So we're really excited about that. Huge following. And of course, always questions, pairing suggestions from the crowd are really appreciated. We have our fantastic tasting room manager, Kaya Jones. She is monitoring this whole thing in the virtual cloud, and she wants to hear your questions and will respond to you, or we will as well. We want to hear all those ideas from you so that we have this little community going on.
Speaking of
oh my
Ville
gosh,
des Jardins,
let's talk about what is this? This is not Vera.
This is a little taste of harvest, Joe. This is Muscat Blanc. It's still fermenting. Don't be scared. Go ahead and taste it.
Looks like apple juice.
I shouldn't say it's still fermenting. It's just barely starting to ferment. So this harvest, for the first time, we're going to have this on the patio, our fermenting wine. So come down and check that out.
You're going to ferment wine on the patio?
Well, we're going to have wine fermenting in the winery, and then we're going to let people try it on the patio.
They can order a glass of this?
Yeah.
Now, I heard this is like a tradition in Germany. I heard that the Euros do this. This is kind of cool. So this is,
right.
What did you say this was?
Well, this is Muscat Blanc.
Muscat Blanc, this is what we make the Ville des Jardins out of.
That's right.
And it's fermenting. When did it start to ferment?
Well, it only started about 2 days ago, so it's only got about 0.5% alcohol at this point. But it's fizzy. That's the fun part, is it's really bubbly. The yeast are creating a bunch of carbon dioxide, making this taste sort of like a mimosa, except more delicious because you have all the great flavor, plus the yeast just make it yummy. They just produce their own sort of crazy flavors that are really good.
It's gorgeous. This actually tastes a lot like the aromas are already very similar to the finished wine. But let's say someone's at home and they want to come try this on Friday in 2 days. And they're like, wait a second, Melanie said it's only 2% alcohol. What's it going to be in 3 days or 2 more days? Where would the alcohol be then?
Significantly higher. It only takes the white wines, it takes them about 2 weeks to ferment. So a week from now, maybe we're halfway through. So we expect this wine to finish up around 13% alcohol. So a week from now, maybe we're at 6, 7, something like that.
Now we're talking, that's kind of like a beer.
Yeah.
But you get all this lovely fizz and sugar.
Yeah.
Lots of sugar still left in this.
Yeah,
So this
that's
is
why
good.
it's like a mimosa. You've got half juice, half wine, but the sparkling is just its natural fermentation.
So at a 2% alcohol level, like today, maybe that's for the designated driver. Maybe they could have like one glass while everyone else drinks around them
Could
and
be.
indulges.
And 2 weeks from now, we won't be showing this anymore. 2 weeks from now, we'll have some other delicious wine that's been fermenting for a while. And so through the fall, we'll just rotate through which variety is at its most delicious stage. That's the one we'll be showing on any given day.
The most delicious. So obviously bubbles, we're going to have bubbles in this stuff. It's going to have sugar and it's going to have alcohol.
Yeah.
3 of my favorite things. And it's available here at the winery if they come in. And it's just called you just would ask, what's the taste of harvest this week, right?
That would work, yeah.
And you and Hale, your assistant winemaker, you're going to keep an eye on this and make sure we have the best selection.
Yeah, whatever tank is the tastiest on any given day, that's the one we'll be sampling. So
tasty?
it'll rotate through all different varieties as we go through the fall.
This is fun. Check this out. We've never done this before. So if you're in the Treasure Valley, if you're in the area, come down to the tasting room. 7 days a week, 11 to 6. Should be fun. Cheers, man.
Cheers.
It's a 2020 harvest. It's my first taste of it. That's good. All right, we'll put the sugar water over to the side here. You know, our kids are upstairs. They'll come down and drink it in a second. Just kidding. Directions. Let's talk about, we're going to open the Vera now. We're going to get into this, and we want to talk a little bit about our wines. And, well, I think Melanie makes beautiful, balanced, fruit-forward red wines, but all of them are quite big upon release and can be really well served by decanting, right?
Yeah.
All right, so I'm going to go ahead and decant, and Melanie, you tell us maybe the why about decanting.
Sure. So decanting, if you do a big splashy aerative decant, it's a way of getting the wine to, it's almost like fast forwarding it through maybe a year of aging. So it opens the wine up so you can smell it better and makes the tannins just a tiny bit softer. So we advise that, and we do that in our tasting room for the first year. After we release a wine, we'll do that for you ahead of time in our tasting room, and at home you can do it, and it's kind of fun, but certainly not necessary. If you like your tannins big and strong, then don't worry about it. Just pour straight from the bottle.
I think, folks, I recommend that you get a decanter. You don't have to get expensive. You don't have to get fancy. I think, Kai, we spend maybe $50 on a decanter, and I love it. They're fun to do. If you want to, you can get a funnel and pour it back into the bottle at home if you want to decant it. Or if you have something nice like this, this is really a lovely way to display the wine on your table.
Or you can use a ball jar.
Ball jar, flower vase. Just wash it first. Hold on for a second.
You've grabbed my flower vase before.
Oh, you're not going to let me decant.
Oh, well, go ahead.
She's always in charge.
Just
Okay, here I go.
hurry it up. I'm thirsty.
Harvest has started, Melanie.
Splash it.
Mel's ready. Splash it. She says, splash it, girl.
Splash you. Yeah, there
Listen
you
to
go.
that. Listen to that,
That's
people.
better.
Open up. Okay, that was fun and a little aggressive. Sorry about that, folks. Zing. So this is definitely not, what am I doing? That's not enough for you. You're already in harvest. There we go.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'll pour a little for myself. So I'm going to hit Melanie with a bunch of questions about Vera. And first, let's talk about the name. It's a beautiful red wine, but it's a fanciful name. What's up with Vera?
Vera is named after my grandmother. She was quite a good artist, and she worked not in wine, but in watercolors, clay, stone, stuff like that.
Artist.
And I always thought growing up, well, maybe I could be an artist since my grandmother's one. So I didn't quite turn out to be an artist in the traditional sense, but in some sort of sense, this is my artwork. So I decided this was my ode to her. So there you have it, Vera. And
Vera Krause. This is your dad's mom.
Yeah.
All right, let's raise a glass to our grandmothers.
To our grandmothers.
To our grandmothers. All right, I love this wine. Of all of the reds that we've just released to the wine club and now to the general public. This one is, to me, the most open. It's ready to drink now. It's got a ton of aging potential. But what is the Vera? What is the blend? Tell us a little bit about that. What's in the bottle?
Yeah, sure. Well, it's mostly Sangiovese. It's got a little bit of Merlot, about 15% Merlot in it. That makes it, well, it's a style of wine called the Super Tuscan. And we've been wanting to make one for quite a while. This is our first, though. We're really excited about it. And the Sangiovese he kind of brings all of that sprightly fruit, like the dried cranberry or even fresh cranberry. There's a lot of really fresh fruit flavors in this that are coming from the Sangio. And then the Merlot, what I think it does is it sort of rounds out the edges of the Sangiovese. I think Sangio can be a little bit drying in the tannins. They can be kind of pointy and hard on the finish, but the Merlot smooths that out.
This is a big wine. This is definitely like a prime rib dinner, fancy evening out, your favorite steakhouse. Take a bottle of Vera. Guarantee you the steakhouse will not have it on their list. And this is a very small production, so it's probably only going to get to our club members. I'm loving it. Now, it's a Super Tuscan, and it's made in the Super Tuscan style, correct?
That's right.
And can you tell us, what does that mean when they say Super Tuscan?
Well, it's a Sangiovese-based blend that has non-Italian varieties blended into it. So particularly the Bordeaux varieties blended into it to showcase all the lovely fruit of a Sangio, but then add, I think the great thing about Super Tuscans is they add a little bit more depth and complexity to the texture of the wine with those Bordeaux varieties, but you still get all that amazing Sangio flavor.
And we're not going to have the time to go into the whole origin story of Super Tuscans, but let me tell you, you need to Wikipedia that, Google it, look it up. It's an amazing, amazing story about how Super Tuscans, the style, came to be. It's really wonderful. And I've been a fan of Super Tuscans. I have enjoyed Super Tuscans from California and from Italy and from Washington State. And for years now, I've been asking Melanie, well, let's make one for our customers and our club members. And you have patently refused to each year. You were very stubborn, and it created a lot of tension at dinner.
Not really, but...
What was going on?
Well, we do make a Sangiovese-based blend. If you guys are familiar with our portfolio, it's our Laissez-Faire Red. That's a Sangiovese-based blend, but it's more in what you would think of as a Chianti style, where it's like your everyday drinker. You open it up no matter what you're having on a Wednesday when you're tired after work.
Or Tuesday.
Or Thursday.
Or Friday. Any day of the week that rhymes with say is good with the Laissez-Faire Red. And I love that wine. That wine to me is, I pull that out, food friendly. It's always going to pair with what's on the table, almost always. It's really versatile, but that is lighter bodied, high acidity. That's not what I consider a Super Tuscan. Right. But why didn't you use some of that to make a Super Tuscan?
Well, the reason that we decided to finally call one and market it as a Super Tuscan is because we have a new vineyard of Sangiovese, a new vineyard block that just came on, and it's providing a much heftier weight Sangiovese. And so this one was more fitting of the style of a Super Tuscan than a Chianti, and so we've decided to keep those two separate. So we have our Laissez-Faire Red that's more like your everyday drinking wine, and this one that's more of a rich, celebratory, heavy-bodied Super Tuscan.
This is a steakhouse wine.
Yeah.
That's something I really love. I remember when you turned to me in the 2018 vintage, after the wine had aged a bit, and you said, "Oh, we have a Super Tuscan potential here with this new Sangiovese that we've gotten," and that was from the Linné Vineyard. Is that right?
Yeah, Linné Ridge Vineyard. It's out on the sunny slope. If you've had a glass of wine sitting on Bittner's beautiful deck, and seen that view, it's over to the right of that view.
Drinker's right. So if I'm drinking, it's to the right.
That's right.
Drinker's right. And that's Jay Hawkins. He's the grower over there. He did a phenomenal job. Let's toast to Jay.
Thanks, Jay.
Thank you, Jay. Bravo.
Nice
Great job.
And then the Merlot comes from Emerald Slope, which, if you guys follow our wines, we've talked about a lot. It's producing phenomenal Bordeaux-style wines.
Yep. So it's really interesting. I am so happy that we have the Vera, we have a Super Tuscan, because, again, I think it makes it really evident that wine is really about place. And we have a beautiful Sangiovese from the Williamson's Vineyard, if I'm correct, that we make our lovely Laissez-Faire Red out of. And that's really the appropriate grape for the Laissez-Faire Red. And then we have kind of a hotter site with a different clone of Sangiovese at the Lenné Ridge Vineyard, and that was speaking to you guys, you ladies, and it was saying, I need to be a Super Tuscan, huh?
Yep.
That is so cool. That's the beauty about wine. You got to listen sometimes, right? You can't force it.
Yeah. So this is why we're, after all these years of producing Sangiovese, we're finally making this, because
it was the right place.
Yeah, like this was the right wine to do it with. So
I love it. And what did your dad think about being having his mother on the bottle?
I think he was pleased. In my dad's low-key style, he said, all right, well, am I going to get a few of those bottles? In the allotment, the parental allotment.
Half German, half Scottish over here. German side, very, very mellow. In fact, they socially distancing, they were already doing that before COVID. They were already compliant.
We can just keep on doing that. I'll be fine with it.
Just kidding. I believe that hugging in your family is just standing on the same carpet, right?
It's good enough.
Yeah, it has been weird. Well, I'm loving it. Tell me a little bit about what you think this wine's going to be like in 5 years. We've been getting a lot of questions about aging. I'd love to just slip in a little something about aging, and I can talk a little bit about our library wines too.
Sure. Well, it is a little bit softer wine than most of our Cinder high-tier wines. A little softer than our Valentina or the Syrah. So, I wouldn't say age it 20 years. I'd say age it in the 5-year range. It's going to be delicious, even just a year from now. All of our wines, a year after we release them, have opened up, become more complex, have more integrated tannins, a more integrated oak profile and stuff. So I'd encourage everybody to at least try to keep them for 1 year. But Absolutely. If you want to, if you have a great cellar, I'd say cellar it up to 5 years.
It's a beautiful wine right now. I can see how it's going to get even better easily in 5 years. I'm really talking up more with our customers here in the tasting room about aging the Cinder wines, and part of that conversation leads to the fact that now in the tasting room we're doing flights from our library, which is a lot of fun because currently I believe we're doing the Syrah. I think we're doing the 13 Syrah, 14 Syrah, 14 Foot Stomp Syrah, and then we're also doing the 2018 Syrah. So the current Syrah with some older vintages, and people really get to enjoy and see how that wine matures, becomes something, in my opinion, even better, even more valuable, even more enjoyable. And that's kind of fun. And so if you have the opportunity, come on in and enjoy that tasting. And if you don't, but you want to get a hold of an aged bottle anyway, check out our website. We've got some library wines out there now. If you don't see what you're after, email us at wineclub@cinderwines.com, and our wine club manager, Tyler Bradley, will be happy to look up the vintage and variety for you, since we have all of the vintages we ever created, all the reds, aging away. So it's kind of fun. A little plug about aging wines. It's hard to do because when you taste something and you love it, you want to have it right away, right?
Yeah, the only way you can do it is hide it. Hide it from yourself, from your spouse. I do that.
I actually found out about 6 months ago that there's a second wine cellar in our own home that I didn't know about. And somebody is hiding particularly special bottles of wine from me.
I don't know what you're talking about, Joe.
Yeah, we talked about this in therapy. This is a big deal.
I think Kaya's got a question for us.
We got some questions. Melanie, how does this wine compare in body to your Syrah, which is their favorite?
Well,
the body of a Syrah.
Yeah, okay, so I would say that a Syrah is a really thick smooth, silky sort of texture and body. And this one is a lot more, it's light in sort of like a sprightly way. Like it makes your mouth almost tingle or something. It's lively. So if it was like a musical note, Syrah's something way down low, like a bass, and this is something much higher. They're both pretty big wines, but they're so different in the texture.
Yeah, I would agree. The texture, the Syrah is definitely thicker, silkier to me, and I agree with that liveliness.
Yeah, this has
is
like
a very
tingly, lively tannins on acid on the finish, so it sort of, I don't know, on your tongue.
I don't know who asked that question, but it's a great one because Syrah is also often our favorite, like 8 months out of the year. Here's another one. This is unlike any Sangio I've ever had. How is it so distinct and big? Well, thank you. We think that's a compliment that it's distinct and big. It's definitely a hot vineyard site, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's one of the first spots that ripens, right? As far as your red sites go.
Yeah, it's really warm. It ripens early. I'm going to be honest, I don't know how to answer that question.
What is your oak program? Let's get a little nerdy. What was this in? Was this in all neutral barrels? Did you have a little French or American oak on this? What did you do? Did you wave your wand over it? Winemaking wand?
Well, it's initially we put it all into neutral oak, and then when we decided, oh, this is so yummy, let's make a super Tuscan out of it, then we upgraded it to a few barrels that were like second year barrels, so that they've got the second year of an oak's life is my favorite year in the life of a barrel. The first year it has all these incredible aromas. They're so sort of blatant. They're flavors of like maple syrup and pumpkin spices, maybe even a little bit of smoke. And so there's that year, and it's wonderful, but we need to use it sparingly with the wine so we don't overwhelm the wine. And then the second year, you get a little bit of those flavors and you get a whole bunch of support of the texture of the wine, but everything's so much subtler. So we use some of those in this, and we didn't want to overwhelm the flavor of the Sangiovese with a whole bunch of brand new oak. So we were careful about being subtle with it.
It's like subtle strength, and it's kind of like a man in his mid to late 40s. Yeah. Just starting to age just right.
Yeah, that's
second year barrel.
Handsome, but a little less vigorous.
All right, we're having fun. I hope you guys are too. That was a great question. Thank you so much. Let's see. Kaya is saying,
wrap it up. We're getting
25
way too
minutes.
personal.
Wrap it up. Well, thank you guys so much for joining us today. I've got a little reminder for everyone, which is that right now our staff pick is our Gewürztraminer. That's a mouthful. It's German. It means spicy Traminer, spicy grape, and it is a beautiful spicy wine, and it is the staff pick, so if you buy 6 bottles or more, you get an additional 10% off. Don't forget that. It's pretty awesome. Please come visit us. We are totally COVID compliant. Keep ordering online. We really appreciate it. We love to hear from you guys. Keep sending those photos in with your food pairings and your other ideas of where you like to enjoy Cinder. Anything else, Mel?
Just thank you for joining us.
Oh my gosh.
Hopefully we'll see you next week.
Let me get this in here. Don't forget the decanter. Everybody buy a decanter, even a cheap one or a ball jar, and keep it classy.
Wash your hands and call your mom.